Welcome back to my channel. This is Nana Chats. Let's talk online internship. So today I just came on here to talk to you all about my internship because I started it. Yay! Praise report. Remember I told y'all that Jesus would provide for me this summer? Well, my internship decided to pay me. Take a minute to shout. I'm being paid and my internship has begun. I'm in my 3rd week right now. I first had to go fill out paperwork, of course, because like I said, I'm now getting paid. You feel me? You feel me? So I had to go and fill out paperwork at the main office. Then I had to head to the office that I would have been working at if COVID were not a thing and pick up some files. While I was there, I met some more of the people that I'm working with this summer, and I got to listen in on a call that they had. So first, I'm going to tell you all about what I've been doing for the past 2 weeks. Training calls. So we do team meetings, and then they do intern check-ins. The team meetings happen twice a week, earlier in the morning, and then the intern check-ins happen 3 times a week. Obviously, it's 5 days. 5 plus 2 is 3.
What?
3 plus 2 is 5.
What's 9 plus 10?
21.
The intern check-ins happen 3 days a week towards the end of the day. The place that I'm working at is a public defender's office, but they're more than just a public defender's office. They hire a lot of their clients. They hire young people. They do a lot of community outreach. They do basketball games. They do youth court. They give out food, especially in times like this, to families that need food during COVID. They do a lot of things with the community and a lot with their clients. And that's something that really drew me to them in the beginning because I love working with kids and I love just helping people. They also do this thing that I think is really, really cool, which is educate families and communities about the law. So they go and do workshops in churches, in community centers regarding the laws and what the children's parents and families should know about the laws that are affecting their community. And I think that's super duper important, and I loved that they did that. Like I said, we've been doing trainings. So since I'm working in a public defender's office that usually handles cases regarding minors, we work a lot in the family court, or our main focus is family court. We have been learning about how criminal cases involving minors get removed from criminal court to family court, and also we've been learning about raise the age. So I realized that I didn't explain much about what raise the age is. I kind of just mentioned it, so I just want to give a quick overview of what that law is and what it actually does. So New York's raise the age legislation changed the age that a child can be prosecuted as an adult to 18 years of age in criminal cases in New York State. Before that, the age a child could be held criminally responsible was 16 years old. As of October 1st, 2018, the age was raised to 17, and as of October 1st, 2019, the age was then again raised to 18. There are different classifications under this law for the children of different ages: juvenile offender, juvenile delinquent, adolescent offenders. This also created a youth part within the family court for which the criminal court cases of adolescents or juveniles would be removed. The criminal cases for juvenile offenders, etc., would be removed to family court. This law brought back into effect the fact that you have to notify parents of when their child is arrested. Any questioning of that child must be in an appropriate location and limited to a reasonable amount of time. Parents who are present at questioning must also be given notice of their rights as well. This law also separated adults being charged with crimes from children being charged with crimes. One example of this not happening was the Khalif Browder case, in which he was put on Rikers Island at the age of 16 for 3 years. First of all, because he couldn't afford bail, and second, it was for stealing a backpack, right? So he was placed with the rest of the adults at the age of 16, and later on, when he was found not guilty and he was released from prison, he ended up killing himself because just being a child in that type of environment can really weigh heavy on your mental state. I know it weighs heavily on the mental state of adults in that situation, so imagine a 16-year-old who didn't even commit the crime. Also, $700, his family couldn't afford to bail him out. So, bail reform, right? But anyway, let's get back to the video. Another really cool thing that I've gotten to do is preliminary hearings, which is basically court online. I know, right? It's so cool. I feel like I'm such a nerd. Like, I was so excited to go on a preliminary hearing. Let me tell you, it was like getting on a preliminary hearing. I was like, bet. It started at 2:30. I was at my computer at 2:15. Like, when is this gonna start? I'm ready. And basically, we logged in through like GoToMeeting, and there's a whole bunch of people who have logged in to watch this preliminary hearing. So the court personnel basically shares their screen, and the proceeding, like the preliminary hearing, is going on in Skype business meetings or something like that on Skype. And so they share their screen so the people on GoToMeetings can watch the Skype meeting, if you get what I'm saying. It's actually pretty cool. So yeah, there's the judge, there's the DA, there's defense counsel, there's also the defendant who's in jail or in placement. That's, you know, you can kind of see them. They have a little camera in where the placement or the correctional facility that they're in. Basically, they duke it out on Skype for their client or fight for their position. First of all, I didn't know you could really curse in court like that. And let me tell you, the first preliminary hearing that I listened to, they were going in. The judge was yelling, the prosecution was yelling, the defense was yelling, like everybody was yelling.
I never expected it.
I knew that you could be passionate in court, but also what they teach you in law school when you go is that when the judge opens their mouth, you close yours. And I spoke to my supervisor about that, and she's like,
that's beautiful and wonderful and everything.
But when you have a client whose life is on the line and who could be going to prison for a very long time for the charges that are being presented, you need to fight for your client. So a lot of the times these attorneys get really passionate, they may get loud, they speak over each other.
Did you order the code red?
You don't have to answer that question.
Titled. You want answers. I want the truth. You can't handle the truth.
Also, another thing that goes into that is the fact that everything is online. So you know how like you'll be on Zoom or you'll be on FaceTime and it'll be a bit of a lag, so you're kind of speaking over somebody unintentionally. So that's a lot of what was happening as well on these calls. An issue that gets run into a lot that I've seen on these calls is that the defendants very rarely get to speak to their defense counsel obviously in normal circumstances, especially if it's not a grand jury situation but more like just a regular trial. The defendant gets to like whisper to their lawyer, the lawyer gets to whisper to their defendant, maybe they get to write something down on a piece of paper. But because it's virtual court and you're speaking on Skype, the prosecution could probably hear you, the judge could hear you, and you don't want all of that to be public knowledge, especially client and lawyer conversations. So one judge, I've only seen one judge do the preliminary hearing so far. I've been on about 3 or 4. So what he'll usually do is set aside a certain amount of time, give a 5-minute break, and then everybody logs off of Skype, and I guess the attorney calls the defendant wherever they are. They speak about whatever they need to speak about, and then they come back and then maybe redirect or continue to ask questions, or each side rests. Another interesting thing is they are examining witnesses on Skype as well. Basically, I've been meeting everybody through Teams. So we've had team meetings with the investigators, we've had team meetings to meet the social workers, we've met some of the kids on a Zoom meeting, the kids that we would usually interact with in the office. So all of that is cool, even though it would have been so much better to work in office with everybody and get that experience. I also don't mind still getting to meet them over Zoom or over Teams or online, and you know, receiving assignments and doing them at home. You don't have to spend money on gas, you ain't got to spend money on lunch. If it's too hot in the room, you turn the fan on. If it's too cold in the room, you turn the fan off. You got to use the bathroom, you go to your bathroom, you're comfortable, you just in your bathroom, then you come back and do what you got to do. We clock in online and we clock out online. We also have to fill out a daily activity sheet. That's required by the state, and because the office that I'm working in is a state-funded firm or office, we have to let them know what we're doing. Oh, I've been on probation interviews. So a probation interview, especially for a young person regarding family court, is where the situation usually goes before the case actually goes to the court or goes to trial. And then the probation office decides what they're going to do with that case. So probation will interview the child or the young person and figure out if they want to place that child, if they want to give that child a little bit of time out, supervised, to make sure that they stay on the right track, and then their case can be sealed and, you know, it'll be like they never had a case, or whether they're going to decide to charge the child and take the case to court and all this stuff. So I think there's a lot of stuff that goes into it. I don't think I explained it amazingly. So that's basically what we've been learning so far. So I was able to listen in on a probation interview. Research projects. So we have a lot of cases that we are speaking about. When we get the discovery for a case file, we'll look through it, and then, you know, on the team meetings we'll talk about maybe certain aspects of the case that are interesting, and then the supervisor will be like, okay, great, so research this topic, research this issue, and we'll talk about it next time we come, or you guys will present it the next time we come. And I actually really like that. I feel like if we were in the office it may be a bit more intense or maybe intimidating. Usually all we have is the team meeting during the day. You have like the rest of the day to do the research on that topic, and if you actually find it interesting, it's not that bad. Also, in this time, I think this is a very unique and interesting time to be a law student and a law intern. From May 25th, from the murder of George Floyd, going through this time and continuing on, it's really interesting to be in an office that works with crimes in family court, a public defender's office, because a lot of the police reform that's happening, a lot of the executive orders that governors are, you know, writing and sending out, a lot of these changes really do directly affect the work that the attorneys at my office do. So we do get to talk about it a lot and kind of see from the outside, because we are not fully entrenched into that public defender legal world yet. You know, we're just interns. So we get to listen to the attorneys kind of have their take on it. But I think that's basically it for my online internship. Literally, I clock in the morning, I do some research, I get on a group call, maybe I'll do preliminary hearings for the day, maybe I'll do some more research, I'll look through some discovery. So it's actually a really, really cool experience working from home. That's the experience that I'm having doing my internship from home. I know it's probably harder for other people working from home and doing internships from home. I just want to thank y'all for watching this video again. Thank you for coming back. I really, really do appreciate you. Please like, comment, subscribe, share, click the notification bell so that you can get notified whenever I post a new video, because I have been posting every week so far. Make sure you subscribe. I have a lot of views on some of these videos and not as many subscribers, and I would love to have as many subscribers. Girl trying to get paid, you feel me? Bye guys.